So I'm up over 104% with Apple currently. Hey, it's Felix and welcome to FiscalVoyage. And in this video, I'm going to talk about what I'm going to do with my shares with Apple after their stock split. So in this video, I'm going to go over some metrics that I think that Apple is overvalued currently. But what I'm going to do with my shares is I'm going to hold the current position. The reason why I'm not going to sell is because I have it in a taxable account. So if I was to sell with 100% profit, I have to pay taxes in those profits, and it will only be on short-term gain because I bought shares or open position in Apple in the March lows of this year. So it hasn't been a full year for me to sell at a long-term capital tax. If I was to sell now, I'll have to pay short-term gain tax. So let's look at some of the things, some of the metrics that I think shows that Apple stock is currently overvalued. The Ameritrade account, you can see here Apple, I currently own 8 shares. I only bought $500 worth of shares in the March lows. So with, I think it was 2 shares at that time. So then, the 4-to-1 split, I now have 8 additional shares. And as you can see here, I've gained, that money back. I'm up 104.73% as of today. The market overall is down today, so I'm down $2,000 and about $300 today, which is okay. It happens. Let's look at the fast graph for Apple. First off, I just want to note that this price in earnings or drop in earnings is 73% is because the stock split, they haven't adjusted the previous earnings. So I think in a few days this will adjust. So let's go to forecasting here because I want to show you guys this. Analysts are expecting about a 11.4% adjusted earnings growth going forward. And even in Yahoo, if we go to Yahoo estimates under the analyst section, you can see here the next 5 years, they're expecting about 12.5% growth. So that right there shows me more or less, I would say, I like to be conservative with the estimates. So let's say a 10% growth. But if we go to Seeking Alpha, again, this is based on pre-Apple stock split. It has a PE of almost 40 at 38 with the earnings of $12.92 for 2020. So with this earnings and then a PE ratio of 38, with only a 10% to 12% growth in earnings, that to me is very overvalued. I think if it had a growth rate of 20 or 25% for earnings, then I would think the company would be fairly valued, so maybe even undervalued. But right now, I'm not buying shares of Apple. It's up to date, 4.5%. You can see here. But I'm not buying shares. I want to continue holding my shares, holding my current shares that I have here. And if the price drops, I would say around, let me see, if it's 130 now. So if I wanted a PE around 20, I would use this estimated earnings or forward earnings per share of $12.92 and divide that by 4 because that's the amount of the split, 4-to-1. So it's going to give me $3.23, and I want a PE of about 20 or so. So if I times that by 20, that's going to give me a price of $64.60. So you can see here how overvalued Apple is. So I think a PE of 20 or even like 23, a PE of 20 or 23 with a nice 10 to 12% growth, I think is fair because of the high quality company. But right now, as you can see, this high PE ratio and only an about 12.46 for the next 5 years or even 11.4 here growth, that's not very attractive. If we could even look here at earnings from Seeking Alpha, you can see here, let me find it here, from $3.23 to $3.89. That's about, let's check the percentage in that. $3.23 to $3.86. That's a 20% increase in earnings. So that's real good. But you can see how it fluctuates from different analysts and whatnot. But I like to be conservative. So, around 10 or 12% earnings growth. And this is just only for 1 year. You can see here in the fast graph, it also projects about a 20% growth in earnings from 2020 to 2021. So this could be more or less that range for the first year, but in 2022, 6% growth. So that's why about a 10 to 12% average growth for the next 3 to 5 years is reasonable. But that's why I think at the current PE of about 30, what was it, 38, is, I find it to be overvalued. Yeah, 38.6. So I think a PE between 20 and 23 should be fairly valued for such a great company like Apple. But right now, I think it's overvalued because of the the stock split. You can see, I think this is where they announced it, and it just started to jump up because of the excitement of the stock split. But that, again, that's why I'm going to hold shares of this. So there you have it. As you saw, I'm up over 100% with Apple. I bought it in sometime in March this year. So I'm going to hold my shares. Even if the company drops 30%, 40%, I'm going to still hold it. This is going to be a long-term company that I'm going to hold. And if it does drop, 30%, 40%, I'm buying more. That's for sure. And I hope you guys do the same, because I think Apple, is going to be, 10, 15, 20 years from now, making much more money than what it is now. So I hope you enjoyed the video, and I'll see you guys in the next one.